Hi everyone, welcome. It's good to see you. So this is our MOOC, our second MOOC with VMware this evening, and this MOOC is on tech careers you didn't even know existed with them. Backstage you have me, Aileen. I am a Code for Girls brand ambassador, so if you have any questions about Code for Girls, please put them in the chat, then I can reply. So I'm currently a delivery manager at a challenger bank and a chemical engineer, which I pivoted into tech. So that's been quite fun. So I'm really excited to have VMware here with us. So very first we have Ludmilla, who's going to be our VMware host. Hi Ludmilla, it's nice to see you.
Hi, nice to meet you, Aileen.
Excellent. And backstage, we have quite a few of the panelists. Backstage, we have quite a few of the VMware team. We will introduce them slowly as they come up, but we have Paula, Harriet, Cersei, Chloe, and we have Merit as well. So Ludmilla, I'll hand over to you to kickstart the session.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. And I'll put up the presentation for you as well. All
Yes,
right,
that would
here
be
we go.
great. Okay, brilliant. So first of all, introductions. Welcome everyone that's on the call. Brilliant to have so many people joining us. My name is Ludmilla Dias, and I am a partner solutions engineer at VMware. And so to kick off, how we even before we even get into this whole presentation, we have a quick activity for you guys to do. So it would be really great to hear what you guys think actually are jobs in the tech company. For example, when I joined, before even joining this job, I I thought I knew that there was data analysts, business analysts, developers, but I didn't know about pre-sales. I didn't know about my solutions engineer role. So I mean, if you could, scan the QR code that's on the screen, or even type in the code onto menti.com, and then we could see all the different types of jobs that you guys think and know exist in the tech industry, and we'll go over some that actually do. So yeah, data analyst, lots of analyst roles out there for us. Yes, designer role, web designer roles, graphics designer roles, development, lots in software development, risk advisory, yep, lots on the security risk side, product manager, yep, that exists too. Software engineer, yep, solutions engineer. My role is very similar yet different to software engineer, but they all exist. We have data scientists, yep, we have data scientists, even market research analyst, DevOps. So yeah, lots of roles in DevOps, testing, QA, the delivery manager, the actual developers who build the code and the software. Lots of different roles. Wow, we've got so many. So great to see all the different roles that you guys know. Thanks for inputting as much as you can. QA tester, yep. Just had to turn my head to read that one. Brilliant. If we could just go on the next slide. So now that we've done that really that quick activity, it was great to see that you guys know that there's so many roles out there. That's like a tick box. That's brilliant. So let's go on the next piece of the presentation, which is who's VMware? What are we? What do we do? So VMware is, in a nutshell, it's a software company, but we have evolved from being this one software company which was virtualizing, which is a magic word, virtualizing servers to allow customers to run a range of software on their servers, on their IT systems, on their infrastructure. And we started off very small, and now there's over 34,000 employees on a global scale. And even through the pandemic, we hired hundreds and hundreds. Even through the pandemic, it was insane, but it was amazing. We have so many customers, 500,000 customers, including Tesco, your everyday shopping Tesco, William Hill. We have so many customers that we work with and actually help those customers to run VMware. And funny enough, you'll find that the systems that these customers run and a range of customers run are running VMware, which is really interesting. Before I joined, I didn't know Tesco's running VMware. It was really interesting to know. We have so many offices on a global scale. We have 2 in the UK, lots in all around Europe, Asia area, America, South America, so many. And that's even opportunity, you know, on an international scale, that is an opportunity for many people to get involved with VMware. And, you know, as it says on the slide, you know, $11.8 billion dollar company, you know, we're up there, we're a market leader in our software solutions. And, you know, our overall aim with VMware, you know, it's not just around technology, but we want to use tech for good. So, for example, we had a event recently, right? And every person that registered, we had an initiative that every person that registered, we would plant a tree for every registration. And we had thousands of registrations. And it was so great because that meant everyone that joined was, you know, part of our initiative to make the world a better place and use tech for good. If we could just go on the next slide. So from hearing about what is VMware, what we do, I want to get into more of what this presentation is about. And it's focused around the technical roles that we have at VMware. So as you guys help me build out that word cloud with all those different technology roles, we do have a range of roles at VMware, which you probably haven't even heard of. I didn't know about these roles when I was back at university, but there are a range of roles that you can actually get involved with and even one day become. For example, we have sales representative roles. So as the role even says, you know, sales, it's about going to customers and showing them the different range of VMware products that we have and how our products can help their business to essentially have a successful business, right? And then we also have a solutions engineer role. So with a solutions engineer role, we help the customer understand how our products can benefit them from a technical side. So not on a business value level, but more on a technical level. So for example, getting really technical with like how many hosts, how many servers, the networking. So really on a technical level. And then we have project management roles and technical consultant roles. So a project management role would be focused around utilizing all the resources that a customer could use from a technical consultant, such as a technical consultant, to ensure that a customer has a successful post-sale deployment of that product. And even after that, ensuring that they have support. And these support could be from customer success, which is a team who helps customers in terms of technical support. And there's also global support services who also help with technical support. And then we have technical account managers who ensure that customers are 100% supported even after they bought the product, because you know you don't want to just sell something and then say bye-bye. You want to ensure that the customer is always supported. And all these roles fall under something called the sales cycle role, where it's prospecting from just finding if a customer is interested in VMware all the way to buying that product and then continuously delivering support. So we have a range of roles. And before I joined VMware, I didn't even know these roles existed. But it's so amazing to see that these roles exist, and it's more than just coding, and it's more than just being behind a screen, for example, and just typing away. You know, you get to present and you get to show off your ideas and have really diverse projects you can get involved in, and networking and actually enjoying your job. I think that's the best. I think for one thing I can say is it's important to love your job, and I absolutely do love being a solutions engineer. So what we're going to do is for each of these roles, we have someone here, our panelists, to go over their experience in the tech industry and what they do in this particular role, to give you guys an idea of, you know, what you could expect if you're one day to become a solutions engineer, to be working in the customer success team. So let's actually bring in our first panelist, Chloe. Hi, Chloe.
Hello.
Hi. So do you want to just go over your background and give us some fun facts about in the
Yeah,
team?
Of course, no problem. Hi, everybody. So my name's Chloe, and I am currently a customer success manager at VMware. So I actually left university 10 years ago and went and joined a company called Kraft Foods, which some of you might know. They own Cadbury's chocolate. So I went around selling chocolate out of a van, basically, to shops, which was very enjoyable. But I quickly realised that I was eating crunchies for breakfast, so it wasn't so good for the waistline. However, one of my friends was working in IT actually, and he was always talking about how he was going off to Los Angeles for these conferences, and he had a nice car, and I thought, oh, I want to be involved in this. So I asked him to put my CV in. And I started in cybersecurity world, and at the time there were some of the well-known cyber attacks that were happening around the likes of Talk and so on that you will have heard of. So I felt like it was a very relevant time to be getting involved in that cybersecurity space. So I spent a few years specializing in cybersecurity before I joined VMware 5 years ago now. I've done 3 different roles during my time at VMware. Firstly, as a security sales specialist, which of course was quite well suited to the background that I had, and really the responsibility there would be to generate demand for VMware's security portfolio, to understand customers' challenges, and then to help align a solution to help them fix those challenges, and ultimately to increase revenue for VMware. Which I thoroughly enjoyed. I then moved into a role in a broader sense. So rather than focusing specifically on security, I wanted to broaden my areas of knowledge and look at the entire VMware portfolio. So I became an account manager rather than a specialist. And most recently, only 3 months ago, actually, I moved into what's called customer success. And as Ludmilla described, customer success is all about making the customers happy and successful with our technology. So once they've bought from VMware, my role is to kind of take the baton from the salesperson, make sure that the customer has everything they need for that software to work and to deliver for them. There's a lot of very talented ladies who are going to speak to you today, some of whom are from a technical background. I am totally not technical. As you can see, I did do a degree in retail management, and I am very good at shopping, but I'm not technical. So I think that was certainly for me one of the myths that I used to think working in IT, you would have to know all about the technology itself. Well, actually, there's plenty of people around you to help you with that. So I'm also at VMware part of the Pride Pod, so supporting our diversity and inclusions initiatives, and I'm fortunate enough to be leading some of the global diversity and inclusion initiatives specifically for our customer success teams. I personally love working at VMware. I've been here, as I mentioned, for 5 years, and I'm not going anywhere anytime soon. It's a great culture and a really fun place to work, and we'll cover that more, I suppose, during the Q&A. But yeah, I work in IT because I've got 4 cats and they're expensive and they are very fussy about what food they like, and I need a way to pay for it. So VMware helps me to do that. So that's in a nutshell, and I look forward to some questions later. And over to Harriet.
Hey, thanks, Chloe. So I've actually worked with Chloe on one of my accounts in the past. I've just changed into a global role, actually. So a little bit about me. I actually did accounting and finance at university. Wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do when I finished my degree. I was like, shall I become an accountant? Shall I pursue that? Because I wasn't sure, I thought, well, I can take a year out. And my year out was doing a master's in business studies. So I sort of broadened myself out a bit. And then some of my friends were moving into sort of graduate trainee roles in accounts. But I just felt like it wasn't for me. And I've always been sort of drawn to innovation and tech. And I managed to get a graduate trainee position at Europcar, and that was within an actual IT department. So it was actually hands-on programming from somebody who had never, most programmers start their careers doing a software engineering degree or computer science. I had none of that. And, the graduate trainee program gave me everything, basically. So I was actually programming in, some of the most popular languages, still relevant today. Moved into consultancy because I love traveling. I took a little bit of time off to travel with one of my friends who's still a programmer actually at Europcar, and my role is a solution engineer. It's supporting the salespeople during the sales cycle. It's sometimes often referred to as pre-sales as well, or sales engineer. At VMware they refer to it as a solution engineer. So my titles, even though they go from pre-sales consultant to senior pre-sales consultant, it's the same role basically. So I've been doing this since 2007 now, and I'm giving away my age here. But I've always been really passionate about innovation. One of the things I really like about technology is so you're constantly learning, you're constantly growing, you don't get bored. And I think that's why I'm at VMware. VMware is leading edge technology. I haven't put it on here, but I was involved in screening interns, so people that have their 1 year gap year during their degrees. So have been helping with that at VMware. So I've been meeting loads of graduates earlier on this year, and we've got some great interns here. So it's been fun. And again, we'll probably talk about this a bit later on. But yeah, thank you all for jumping on today, and look forward to chatting to you guys a bit more later. So I'll pass it on to Ludmilla.
Thank you so much, Harry. I think that's very true. Tech is always changing and it keeps you interested in what's going on. So I'm going to pass it over to Bola now, who's going to talk about her apprenticeship as a solutions engineer.
Hi everyone, my name is Bola and I am currently a solutions engineer at VMware, so I'm a degree apprentice. And as you can see on the screen, my education, so I did A-level. At A-level I did computer science, economics and government and politics. I thought that was a good range of topics. And currently I'm studying digital and technology solutions at University of West London, so as part of my degree apprenticeship. So facts about me, I am one of the first original VMware degree apprentice. I think that's a cool thing. I've always had a passion for tech since a very young age because I've always loved problem solving. So I kind of pull things apart and just wondered how things came together. I think that's what really drew me to tech, especially cloud computing. My favorite thing about working at VMware is definitely the people. I think you're going to hear this a lot, but VMware is totally people vibes, and people are amazing. You just enjoy just stopping at a place and just talking to people. And also you have the ability to grow and keep learning. I feel like I've only been here a month and I've learned so much, and it's so crazy to think that I could be able to talk about things that I wouldn't be able to talk about previously, like cloud computing, CPUs, for example. I've learned so much, and that's one of the coolest things about being at VMware. And there's also this thing called pod at VMware. So that's Power of Difference. So I'm also part of the Black at VMware pod and the Women at VMware pods. And we have like this great webinars that just teaches you how to be inclusive and, how to just be aware of your surroundings. So that's a bit about me.
Thank you so much, Bola. I actually work very close with Bola, and she only started last month and she's grown so much. And just to find out that she's doing her university degree whilst doing VMware, it's really great. And it's only your first year of uni, and so this apprenticeship, actually we started it this year to give university students the opportunity to come and work at VMware whilst doing your degree, and get that feel of working in a corporate environment, and learn more about our technology and technology in general whilst doing your tech degree, because it aligns very well. So next we have Cerseis, who will talk about her role as a TAM PSO. So hi, Cerseis.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So my name is Circe Romero. I'm Spanish. I'm based in Barcelona. I'm a technical account manager at VMware. My background is actually in telecommunications engineering. You'll see in the screen like the things I've done before. So for me, I've always been a tech passionate. The first job I had, it was an internship as a consultant in Sydney. I just want to say it here, but I was very nervous. I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know if I was going to be good for me, and it really exceeded my expectations. It helped me visualize technology in the enterprise level, see what is the business side of technology, and it really helped me learn. So if you are at the moment that you are thinking of getting an internship in VMware, I really encourage you to try it out and see what it's like, because the perception you have in university, what compared to the perception that you have from your degree and from technology in a company, is very, very different. So just going through my personal career, I then became a digital business consultant, then a researcher, and then I was an engineer in Ericsson, and then I ended up in VMware. You'll see, well, these roles seem very different, but they're really not. So I was always going in between customers, having relationship with the customers and making their lives easier, and technology. And when I found technical account management, I couldn't believe it, because it was out of luck. I just did the interview, I chatted with my manager, and I found out what Latam was, and I really didn't ever heard about it before. You have the part of you are a point of contact for your customer. You help them develop their roadmap, their business roadmap, with the VMware technology. You, as Ludmila said, there's many parts that the VMware technical account manager does, but it's business focused, technology focused, and customer focused. And I think all my other experiences lead me to this position. What else would I would like to say? What I really like, again, as we've all said, I really like working in IT, because it helps you learn every day new things. Everything is moving, and you know that the world is now moved by technology more now this last year. So helping on that, it really encouraged me to upskill myself and do better.
Thank you so much, Cerseis.
Thank you.
So now we're going to move on to Jodie to talk about her role as a technical support engineer. Hi, Jodie.
Hey Luna, thank you. Hi guys, so yeah, my name is Jodie Birmingham. I'm a technical support engineer here at VMware. I suppose this is my first job out of college. I graduated from the Cork Institute of Technology here in Ireland in 2019, and I joined VMware also in 2019. So I did do one internship previous, which was also a technical support engineer role. So that kind of gave me an insight into what the role would be like, and I found it very, very interesting. So hence I stuck with that role for now. So yeah, I joined VMware as part of the GSS grad program. So it's the Global Support Services grad program. It was the first year that the program was run. So as part of the program, basically there's a group of us that were hired together. We all kind of help each other. We did extensive training in the product to get into to become a subject matter expert in the area of the product itself. And from there, I kind of specialized in the networking side of the product. So I basically every day work with our customers to troubleshoot any issues they have with their networking, be it that one of their machines isn't reachable over the network or firewall issues, etc. I'm a huge advocate for women in STEM. Here in VMware, we really try to push to get as many women into the technology roles as we can. Since joining VMware, every year the grad program has run, there's been more and more women involved, and it's great to see. Even my year we joined, there was 5 of us, and it's just growing 5, 6, 7, 8 every year afterwards. So it's been really, really great to see. I also love to get involved with mentorship programs for the new graduates and the new hires in the team, especially with the new graduates, because I understand how hard it can be to come into a job straight out of university and feel like a deer in headlights. So just any guidance we can give them, we try our best to. I'm also a diversity and inclusion ambassador. We have an ambassador program in VMware, where we just kind of put our heads together to see how we can make VMware more diverse and inclusive. So I'll hand back to you, Ludmilla, now.
Thank you so much, Jodie. I have to say, around the support, that is so true. The support system is amazing. Anyone at VM will be like, if you have any questions, please reach out to me, and they genuinely mean that. They're always happy to help. So we're going to move on to the Q&A section. So if you have any questions you'd like to ask our panelists, now is the time. We have a comment section, so feel free to comment and ask questions. I do have a list of questions I would like to ask the panelists, but anything in particular you want to ask, let us know. So the first question I will ask Harriet is, did you always know you wanted to get into tech?
Not really. I think that I was really focused. I did my A-levels in accounts, business studies, economics. So you could tell there was a bit of a focus going on. My degree's in accounting and finance. My master's is in business studies. So from the beginning, I seemed very focused on some kind of business career or an accounting career. But I realized, so, you know, going back to round about before there was the millennium bug. So this is a long time ago for a lot of you. There was this big, you know, oh my God, you know, when we hit the year 2000, there's going to be issues with computers. They're going to switch off in the middle of the night. And I was like, what's going on? You know, I was absolutely clueless. I didn't even use a computer. I did my dissertation on a sort of like a typewriter sort of thing, which is probably ancient to most of you. So I had no computers whatsoever, but it was the graduate trainee program that I was drawn to, if I'm honest with you. And I started to feel like, you know, I want to know more about technology. The world is moving so fast and it's changing so in such a short period of time that I wanted to be part of that wave and part of that change. So I think that's where it happened. Something suddenly clicked and thought, this is actually where I should be focusing, not accounting, not business studies. That's not motivating me. That's not making me wake up in the morning and feel excited, but this is. And I knew it was going to be a bit of a struggle because there is a real learning curve when you start a tech career because of the language. But you know what, within like, you know, Bola was saying, within weeks, you are picking stuff up so quickly. And, you know, and it just started there. And since then, I've just been absorbing and growing. And you don't know everything. You won't ever know everything, but it's fun. And, you know, you are always being challenged, and it keeps me motivated. So, yeah, that's how I ended up there. But I had no idea. If you had asked me when I was at college or university, that if you said you're going to end up in IT, I would have been like, oh, my God, no way. That's for you know, guys, it's for nerds, it's for really techie people, and not somebody like me who, you know, is a bit chilled out, relaxed, take everything, you know, a day at a time. I just thought it was for real deep technical people. So yeah, hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it did. Like, to find out you weren't even interested in tech, and now here you are as a SE. It's amazing. So we do have another question, and I will give that to Chloe. Were you nervous when you started a role in the tech company?
Yes, I was. I think very similar to Harriet, I was excited as well. You know, the opportunity to get into the cybersecurity space at the time seemed very exciting, because it was often in the news that we'd see these data breaches, and the fact that, you know, in my mind, I'm going to help stop them all. That was quite exciting. I think, again, very similar to how Harriet described, I think the language is perhaps a bit daunting in the early days. There's often a lot of acronyms. I know at VMware we're quite guilty of that. But actually, when you break things down and you know, you find that support network that you've all spoken about, there is no silly question. And I really truly mean that. There really isn't. So I think I genuinely believe anyone can do it if they're interested. If it's something that you would enjoy doing, that you'd be passionate about, that you think could be an interesting career, don't let anything hold you back, because there's really no need.
Yeah, 100%. So our next question, I'm gonna give it to Bola. How did you find out about this apprenticeship role?
Yeah, so basically, I always knew that I wanted to, work because although I love the idea of university, I also wanted to learn practically. So I wanted to I'm a hands-on person. So I wanted to physically get into something before I could, learn properly. So I kind of was just going through my options and seeing if I could do anything that allowed me to have hands-on experience. And then I came across degree apprenticeships, and I was like, oh, that's a great way for me to get like a hands-on experience on what I want to do. And I've always knew I wanted to be in the tech industry. So, and then I saw VMware name pop up on my LinkedIn profile, and it was just an amazing opportunity because it was also the role that I wanted, because it was an SE where I really wanted a balance between a technical role and a client-facing role. So that's how I kind of found out about my the SE degree apprentices role at VMware.
Oh, brilliant. That sounds good. So my next question is to Cerseis. What's your favorite part about working at VMware?
Well, I would say that everyone would say the same. It's the people. You have so many opportunities to meet other people in VMware. But for me, the best thing of working at VMware is the huge community of women in tech that are in EMEA as well. I feel like I say this, it sounds a bit weird, no? But people ask me, like, how many females are there in your team? Because this is a question that always raises between tech females, like it's a bit weird sometimes. And I think we are 3 at the moment. But the main point that I wanted to say is that being part of the WISE community, there is Women in SC, but now TAM as well, and GSS, and the Woman Pod in EMEA, I'm able to meet so many technical females that I can relate to, that I feel like I have this huge community of females, and I never feel like I'm working in this male industry that it used to be before. And I think this is something that is very encouraging, because I feel, I have here in front of me 5 amazing role models that I look up to. And this is very often the case in VMware. You meet so many amazing females that you want to be like, because they're amazing. And I've seen you all are in different pods in VMware trying to change things. And I think this is what motivates me to also participate in them. So yeah, that would be it.
Thanks, Cerseis. So I have a question. Anyone from our panelists can take it. It's from Kimberly. What would your advice be for career switchers? So someone who is looking to switch career, would the main route be apprenticeships or graduate, or do you think, we can go down any route and change our career?
I'm happy to take that if that's helpful. So I think that apprenticeship certainly would be a route, but I think it would really depend on your skill set, because no matter what industry, let's say, you're in at the moment, you will have transferable skill sets that would be beneficial to VMware or any other tech company. For instance, I was selling chocolate. Well, that's not very similar to cybersecurity software, but somehow, really the skills in sales come down to kind of relationship building and motivation and passion, and you can easily transfer those skills to any industry. And so I think certainly apprenticeships, as Bola has explained, a fantastic opportunity, but certainly not the only way in order to move your skill sets just to a different industry.
Perfect.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. So I have another question from Rashida. Do you have any career advice for career changes? Another very similar question, but if you could give one advice, what would it be?
Gloria, do you want to finish this one? I can take it as well.
You go.
So I think one important thing that you need to consider, and this is something that people sometimes forget is when you are in your role, you are learning many things and you are developing yourself in a way. But then you have your free time where you can upskill yourself and you can learn other things that are also part of your knowledge and where you want to head. So I think if you are in a position that you may want to switch a little bit, just upskill yourself, look for some other, I don't know, external courses, external activities, maybe lead a pod, like do things that are out of your role, but also help. And I think these other things help you switch careers and help you navigate your career towards the things you like.
Yeah, definitely, very true. So I have a question for Jodie. What is the best thing about working in IT?
Well, for me, I think the best thing is every day, for me anyway, is different because we work with so many different customers every day. We like I start my morning, I could be speaking with someone from Australia, and by the end of the day, I'm speaking with someone in Canada. So it's really interesting to get people's perspectives on things, especially through COVID. All everyone talked about was their own lockdown restrictions. But on a day-to-day, we learn so much. That's one thing about tech that I find really interesting, is there's so much to learn. There's so many new things coming every day. You're constantly upskilling. It's not boring. There's nothing boring about working in IT. So if it's something, if you find you would be bored in a specific area where it's very repetitive, it's not like that in IT. Yeah, it keeps you on your toes, really. That's what I find the most fun.
Yeah, definitely. So I have a question for the panelists. Anyone can take this. Any advice for young women who are interested in tech or studying STEM?
I can take this one as well. So I suppose just coming out of college, and maybe Paula would be a good person to ask this to as well. It can be quite daunting, especially as a woman. You are in class with a lot of guys, and it can be daunting. But I think just keeping your head down and trying to get through it as best you can. Once you get out the other side, it's amazing. There's such a broad world out there when it comes to IT. There's so many jobs, as you can see, that are available to you. So I think just keep at it. It can be challenging, it can be daunting, but it's worth it in the end.
Yeah, definitely, sure. So another question that I have is, can you tell us, anyone from the panelists, can you tell us a little bit about how working in tech has affected your lifestyle, maybe your work-life balance, something like that, around that area?
I'm happy to kick that off. I'm sure everyone will have a contribution on that. But I think, to be totally honest with you, it's been the best decision that I could have made for my work-life balance. Actually, I think, to be honest with you, you can earn good money actually in the tech industry, because of course software costs money, so it can be good from an earning perspective. VMware as an organization, I mentioned at the beginning, how I genuinely really love working here so much, and the way in which they treat us as employees is unbelievable. So, on top of our annual leave allowance, they've given us 10 pandemic days per year that we can use for mental health or childcare if people are working parents and so on. We also have 40 hours per year that we can use towards volunteering and giving back to the community. There's mental health counselling and everything that's available. So I really feel like there are so many benefits that wrap around the career in technology that's so important to family, to your mental well-being, your physical well-being. So I think it's outstanding personally.
Thanks, Chloe. So I have a question from Sam, who has said, it seems like the panel are dotted around locations. We actually are all around Europe. How has remote working been embraced in the industry? I think Chloe's answered a little bit about that. And do you see this working in post-COVID? So does anyone want to take that question?
I don't mind taking that one. I mean,
Yeah,
I
go for it.
during the pandemic, so I was working. I worked at IBM as a pre-sales and CA Technologies before here, and I was traveling everywhere. So every week I could be in a different country, and like I'd be sort of across Europe. I was in Dubai and America. My boss was based in Dusseldorf, so I'd be sort of there. So I went from like traveling all over the place, which I really loved, and that's one of the reasons why I moved into consultancy, to joining during lockdown. And I never met any of my team. We had like an outdoor meeting sort of 6 months into the role, but it was really bizarre and weird. It has been challenging because you're working from home and there's no no physical interaction. You're trying to build relationships with people that you're working with. However, I mean, we've got all this technology. Well, like I'm talking to you through this technology right now and connecting with you, and Chloe and me have never met. Yeah, we've been working on, one of the major UK retail banks, and that was one of the accounts I was supporting before I moved into my global role. And again, I mean, I've moved into a global role, and I'm dealing with people from all different countries from the morning to the evening. Again, a bit like Jodie. It has worked, and it's working because we've got all this technology that allows us to connect. Yeah, it's not the same as being like physically in the office. However, I really like it because it gives us so much flexibility throughout the day, and I don't feel alone. Like from the morning to the evening, I feel like I'm talking. I can talk to about 100 people in a day. Some of these calls we're on like 15 people, 10 people, or we have like coffee and chat sometimes. I mean, me and Chloe did it the other day. So it does work. It's tough because I like company, but I've got a dog in the house, so who's always making loads of noise. Thankfully, she's quiet at the moment. But yeah, going forward post-COVID, I think there'll probably be a hybrid model of this. We're starting to get back out again, but I quite like this actually, and then a lot of people are really liking being working remote and from home all the time. But and a company like VMware, what's really great about it is that they've actually given us the choice. So there's no pressure on us to start going out physically meeting people. It is up to us, but I'm looking forward to it because I just love traveling. I just need to be on the plane. So there we go.
That's very true. I want to get on a plane and travel as well. So Cerseis, I have a question from Amelia. She says, you've obviously had a well-traveled career in tech. Is it generally easily travel with a career in tech?
Well, I think Harry just answered that question for me. I believe, like, depending on the role you are, and if you are in a position that covers different countries, let's say if it's an EMEA role, then you will be traveling around EMEA. In my case, at the moment, I'm working for a Spain role, so I'm traveling around Spain to visit my customers. Not at the moment, but it's how the role is planned to be. Again, I think it really depends on your priorities and your preference. As Harry was saying, she wanted to travel, so she looked for the opportunity. I would say one of the things that we wanted to spread today is that there are many opportunities that because they are a bit unknown or because nobody told us about them, we didn't hear about them. Sorry. So I believe if you look for a EMEA-based role, then you'll be traveling around EMEA. If you look for a global role, maybe you need to travel around the globe. Although I would say that now that we are going into this hybrid mode, traveling will be less than before, and I think this is good. I would say because you'll travel when it's needed, not because there is a fashion around it. And I think this is the important thing that this new way of working has given us. It's flexibility and doing things because they're needing and because we want to do them and because it makes sense. And when you want to work remotely and it doesn't make sense to travel half the globe, then you don't do it. So I hope this answered your question. I would say if you really want to travel, look for a position that covers a couple of countries, and it's usually indicated in the position, travel up to 25%, up to 50%, up to 100%.
Thanks, Cersei. So we have a question from Amber, who has asked what coding languages would be best to learn and do in terms of courses. Does anyone have any suggestions in terms of coding languages?
I used to be a programmer, and that was a while ago, but not a lot's really changed. There tends to be two main houses. There's the Java house, which is, so any internet technology, internet coding technology, because all applications are basically based on that framework. So you've got the Microsoft side, which is like the .NET technologies, so the .NET framework, and then you've got Java. There tends to be the two. I would advise you really, like I said, there's a massive focus of companies moving applications, which they used to have like their own IT departments, which they still do, but they're moving those applications and they're running in the cloud. So you've got people like Microsoft and Google and Amazon, and they're offering hardware platforms which companies can put their own applications on. And so I would say to you, look into cloud. Any cloud-based programming languages where you can develop. I mean, and Kubernetes is the other one, and container development. So it's not, don't focus too much on the language. Focus on the technology framework, and everybody seems to be moving to the cloud. So if you look up things like Google Cloud Native and things like that, there's loads of stuff on YouTube. And I think there was a question earlier about learning and how do I get through. When I was preparing for interviews and stuff, I didn't know a lot about VMware solutions. I knew bits. There's the main one that everybody knows, which is virtualization, but there's a massive portfolio. And to get myself up to speed, I basically created a playlist on YouTube and just added a ton of videos, and just some things went in, some things didn't, but that helped. And there's quite a few websites like Udemy and things like that which offer free training, but definitely invest in cloud-based technologies if you want to move into an IT career. That's massive at the moment and will be for the future, because that's where most enterprises are moving over globally, not just UK or Europe. It's a global thing at the moment.
Just to add to what Harry has said, in the next section of this presentation, we will cover a few courses in the IT Academy, which will answer your question, Amber. But just for the whole audience and all our attendees, not all roles require coding. For example, all the roles that we are doing and the panelists do, no one actually codes. There is maybe deploying of products, but that's completely different to actually coding. And also, depending on which company you apply to, the coding language you will end up doing will differ. For example, one company like VMware, we do a lot of Java in how we create our products, and another company maybe do C#. So it really depends on the company itself. But like Harry said, instead of focusing on the language, maybe focus on the actual IT trends and where IT is going. So moving on to our next question. Bola, I've got a question for you. So did you have any obstacles that you had to overcome to get to where you are? Whether it be the interview process, with the recruitment?
So I think definitely learning about what VMware was, I think that was one of the obstacles I had to overcome, because when I first applied for the role, I knew nothing about VMware, like absolutely nothing. So I think the research and just knowing about things that VMware provides and how they really impacted the IT world was something I had to learn, which now I kind of know, which is good. And another thing I also had to overcome is definitely the interview phase. I think the interview process, the recruitment process wasn't that hard, but obviously, like every interview, you have to prepare for it, and you have to be well organized and things like that. So it's definitely something you have to be prepared for, and it was definitely an obstacle.
Did you have to present or anything like that for the interview?
Yeah, actually, during one of our recruitment process, we actually had a little moment where we kind of played a little game where we had to like choose a character that we wanted to be, and kind of have to debate why we think our character was the best. So that was a little fun thing we had to do. I think that was one of my best recruitment process out of all the apprenticeship I applied for. So, but kind of just, presenting and talking to others about and kind of debating was really nice, but it was kind of an obstacle as well, because I'm not really used to talking to people like this. But being at VMware, I've learned so much, and I've learned to put myself out there. So now I can do this.
Sounds good. So I have a question for Jodie, actually. So what are some of the biggest myths that you've figured out actually aren't even true in the tech industry?
I think what we touched on earlier with regards to the coding, like I studied a computer science degree, and I will admit that coding was not my favorite. So I was kind of apprehensive, thinking that I would need to go into a software development type of role and be coding all the time. But I was really, really glad when I went into my internship and I realized that there's other routes to go down instead of coding, if it's not something that you don't particularly enjoy. Obviously there's people that enjoy it out there, and absolutely hats off to them, because I couldn't do it. But yeah, I think that's one of the biggest myths, is that everything is based around coding. And like, obviously it's great to be able to read it and to understand it, which I think most of us probably will be able to do if we studied it, but actually sitting down and reading it, I couldn't do. But yeah, no, there's loads more out there as opposed to just the coding.
Yeah, 100% agree. When I was at university, we had a module just for coding, and I thought that was like one of the only kind of roles that we could apply to, and to find out there's other roles in tech, for example, TAM and solutions engineer and customer success and support roles. It's nice to know that they actually exist, and we can actually go and do something that we have passion, because we all have passion in IT. It's just finding the perfect role. It's great to hear that they actually exist. So I have a question. Anyone can answer this. What are the skill sets for working in IT, would you say? Maybe we can have one from each panelist. What would you say is a skill set for each for working in IT? We'll start with Bola. Okay, we'll start with Jodie. Yes.
Sorry. I was going to say multitasking. When you are doing your day-to-day job, you might be on a customer call, but you also have to look something up at the same time, or to answer their question that they're asking you. Like, being able to kind of multitask a couple of things at the one time is really, really useful. Just one thing that I found that is good for me.
I would definitely say teamwork. I found out literally today that, being able to work with others and kind of ask for help when it's necessary is kind of very important, because we don't all know everything, and I definitely don't know everything. So definitely, asking for people around you, your team members, for help, and just being able to get along with everyone is definitely good skills.
100%. Cerseis?
Well, I think, and I'm gonna sound a bit like different from the other panelists, but I would say it really depends on the role. It really, really, really depends on the role. So if you are in development, maybe, or it also depends if you are working remotely, a back office job, maybe you don't need so much, being an extrovert. Well, I would say if you are working with a customer, you will need to love that constant interaction, having to resolve problems, and so on. I think to be a TAM, you need to be hungry for learning, I would say, first of all, and also very willing to help everyone, knowing that you won't know everything. That's for sure. That's something that we all need to know in VMware, because the portfolio is so huge. But always being willing to help and looking for the best way to help your customer, I think, is key to success if you're a TAM.
Chloe, what would be your skill set?
But a similar answer, actually. I would say that you could apply almost every skill set to work for a tech company, because, of course, we still have finance, we still have HR, we still have marketing, and so on. Despite the fact that we're a tech company, I think the panel that we have today, certainly if you're in a customer facing role, I would say relationship building skills really come in handy, both in terms of building relationships with the customers but also your colleagues. And everyone's expressed how important that support network is and how lucky we are to have that at VMware. And I think that that really comes down to relationship building skills, because that way, if you don't know the answer or you can't fix a problem, you'll always have a friend who can. So
yeah, it's nice that we all have a support system ready to help each other. And
yeah.
Harry?
Well, I think everybody's covered everything, so I'm just going to summarize, because I was going to say the same answer as Bola, which was definitely ask for help. It's all about being a team player. People will help you. You can't know everything. Relationship building is really important as well, not just internally but externally, because mine is more of a customer facing role, but at the same time I rely heavily on a network within VMware that support me to do that. So I can't do my job without people around me who are specialists in areas that support me. So you don't have to have like IT skills to do a technical. My role isn't really technical. It is sort of matching up the technology and the customer's problems, but it's about listening to what their challenges and issues are, and then seeing where VMware can help. And it doesn't go down to coding or programming languages. It goes down to, we've got certain solutions that will help fix and resolve things. So definitely I think being able to multitask makes a lot of difference as well. And I think everybody's pretty much covered off anything, so I'm not going to add anything new. But yeah, definitely I think main one for me, I would say, is being a team player. It really makes your life a lot easier, your work life and outside as well. It helps.
Brilliant. Thanks, Harry. So my next question to the panelist is, how can you make your CV stand out? What can you do to make your CV stand out as an applicant?
Well, I can take that. Yeah, sorry. I just want to say, when I was applying, I think one of the key things someone mentioned to me when I was writing my CV was definitely to be really specific about what I was going to put in there, because they've seen a lot. Most recruiters have seen a lot of generic CVs where everyone is hardworking and everyone is, curious and stuff. So they've seen a lot of generic. So if you're really specific about what you've done, so put specific figures, specific numbers, and really give them example of how you've shown the skill set, really does boost your CV.
And Cerseis?
Well, I just want to add that it should reflect yourself. I think in the end, when you are applying to a position, you want it to be suitable for your personality. So I think the more personalized, the more alike to you it is, the better, because you'll end up getting a job that really works for you and that makes you happy, which is in the end the goal, to get a job, right?
Perfect. So I do have a couple more questions. So the next one is, how many stages are there when it comes to the application and interview process? So maybe let's do SE first. So Harry, how many stages would you say there is?
Okay, so because my interview process happened just as lockdown started, it would have been face-to-face and it would have been a shorter process. VMware was still working it out. So obviously my manager, she joined during lockdown as well. So what I had was a series of Zoom interviews, and there was I would say maybe 3, maybe 4, there was 4 stages, and I did have to present at the end, and but it was pretty, it wasn't tough. I knew what I was expected of me, and I got to the next stage and next stage. It was clearly they were very clear about what the process was going to be, but they were working that out. But I mean, it was 4 stages, and it sounds a lot, but it wasn't, because the first stage was just a very high level conversation, and it was more about the management team telling me about the company and me about the role. So it didn't feel like an interview. In fact, none of my interviews felt like a real interview. You know, I didn't feel under pressure or anything. The best thing I would say is, you know, even in your CVs as well, be yourself, because, you know, if you're trying to be somebody else, it will come out eventually. So, you know, you can, you know, you're doing yourself an injustice if you're not being yourself. And I would just say, be yourself, talk about what you've achieved, talk about where you could improve, and you know, why you want to join VMware or companies like VMware, and where you want to go in the future. I mean, I was very honest and said, look, I don't know much about VMware technology, but I'm willing to learn. And that was it, you know. So yeah, it does sound daunting, 4 stages, but it depends on the role. I'm pre-sales, so I'm presenting to the customer, so I had to be not only interviewed by my you know, the sort of sales engineering team, I had to also be interviewed by the sales team as well. So I had to make sure I fitted into their organization because I'm supporting them. So that's why there was a few more stages, because it was 2 groups of people that impact where I'm working between two different you know, like with sales and the sales engineering team. So I was interviewed by 2 lots, but some roles are a lot more straightforward than mine. But mine was just had to present because presenting is part of my day job.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, Harry. So Chloe, I have a question for you from Amber. So it is, what is a usual day in the life of a customer success employee?
Oh, that is a good question, and you probably won't be surprised for me to say no 2 days are the same. But if we take today, actually, first thing this morning we had a call between us a lot, actually, just to make sure we were ready for the meeting this evening. I then had a roadmap session with one of our key accounts. So I arranged for our chief technologist, who is you know, senior technical person within VMware, to present to one of my customers our roadmap, so our vision for the future, how they see the solutions evolving. I had a catch up with my manager today as well, so he regularly checks in on me, makes sure that he's actually very, very good at making sure that my workload is manageable. You know, I think everyone on the call will agree, you know, it's a busy place to be, but it's nice that your manager will check in on you and make sure that it's not too much and that you're happy. Personally, I love being busy, so that's good for me. Then I had another call with a customer who is new to the customer success program. So this was, you know, me explaining all about the customer success program. I love doing those meetings because the customers get really excited about everything that we can do to help them. So that's always a pleasure. And then this afternoon, I had one more customer call, I think today, which was a catch-up call. So in the customer success role, we'd normally have like regular touch points with the customer to check in on how everything is going, what actions we need to take, on what tasks we need to do. In amongst this is obviously, you know, Teams chats and emails and so on. So yeah, my favorite part of any day or this role in general is the customer facing times. Of course, there's you know, admin and things that need to be done, but yeah, I think we're all probably like to have as much time with the customers as we can.
Perfect. Thanks, Chloe. So I've got a few more questions. Paulas, so what has been what are the best things about working in IT and at VMware?
I think one of the coolest things, definitely, that I learned so much today. For example, I've learned so much about CPUs, and we also had this little workstation also put out for us. So it's like bits of hardware where we can play with, and also we have this opportunity where we get to go to Barcelona very soon. I'm so excited for that. So that's one of the exciting things about being an apprentice. And yeah, I think that was one of the best things about working in IT. You know, the opportunity to learn, also the opportunity to travel, and definitely getting your hands-on experience. I think from my side, being an apprentice, I get so many experience and so many information thrown at me. At first, it's a bit, you know, overwhelming because you see that it's so much information. But then as you kind of go along the weeks, you kind of understand it, and things start to, you know, intercept and piece together. I think, yeah, that's definitely one of the best things working as a team.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Bola. And one final question, Jodie, Cerseis, what are the coolest things you've experienced at VMware?
I suppose kind of like what Bola said, when I first joined, we actually got the chance to go to the Staines office in the UK. So we all got on a plane and we went over to the UK, and it was great fun, and there was lots of fun activities organised for us. Obviously with COVID that has been stopped, but I'm glad to see it's coming back with Bola, you guys being able to go to the Barcelona office. Hopefully we'll be able to go to the Barcelona office sometime soon. Wouldn't mind some sun. But yeah, that was definitely one of the coolest experiences that I've got to do so far.
I can answer as well. I would say one of the best things that I experienced in VMware would be my first 6 weeks during the graduate program, because I met so many people in other roles. It helped me really get to know the people also in the Barcelona office. Even though it was close, we met online first, and then make that connections, meet other people from other departments, have the visibility of the whole VMware. And I think that was one of the coolest, although there's many cool things in VMware. I think VMware really, it doesn't have to be during your work time, but it really helps you and allows you to network within having the woman pod, having any other pod, connect with people. I know there's a sustainability pod. There's a I was talking about the LGTB pod. So there's many organizations and many people that you can connect, that you can relate with, and I think that's another very cool thing about VMware.
One other thing that I just thought to mention is also, so we had James Corden come and do a stand up on our annual internal conference, which was amazing. We had Will Smith talking at our most recent customer conference as well. We've seen Imagine Dragons play, the Kaiser Chiefs, all live. So I would say that the conferences, when we can have them in person, are amazing fun, and as the ladies have explained, a bit of an opportunity to travel and go somewhere different.
Yeah, I have to say, everyone at VMware works so hard, and everyone knows how hard we work, that the rewards are really amazing. I remember one event where Dynamo came and did some amazing magic tricks, so the rewards are really great, and even those are some of my best experiences at VMware too. So that is the end of our Q&A. Thank you so much to our panelists for answering all the questions. I think we've got some really good answers out of them, especially around the advice and how our audience can do great in IT, and even when it comes to switching roles or CVs and the interview recruitment piece, all of it, really great answers. So let's actually move on to the next piece, which I will hand over to Mareed to cover the IT Academy and all the courses that we have available and how you guys can get involved.
Yay! Hey everyone, that was absolutely fantastic. Oh my God, so many questions coming in, and I loved the answers and the range of different answers. So I hope everyone has taken away some really good advice from that session. Now, I did want to cover a little bit about our VMware IT Academy. So Aileen put the link into the chat earlier on, but we can repost it. But within VMware, as we mentioned, everyone's thinking about, what coding languages do you need to work in VMware? VMware is all about something different, cloud, virtualization. It's all new, it's fresh. It might not be stuff that you're learning in university. So we've put together our own VMware IT Academy, and we actually have some free courses. So depending on where you are at your technology learning scale, there's courses to suit everyone. So I wanted to just tell you a little bit about them. So there's Getting Started in IT. So this is very, very back to kind of some basic IT concepts. What does virtualization mean? What's an operating system? Networking, HTML, intrinsic security. So it just gives you a full kind of high level overview of like different technologies and how they play a part in the world today. So I think this is a really good one to get started. You know, also learning about things like containers as well. So check that one out. And also then if you want to go a little deeper, we have some courses that can help you earn some badges that you can actually put on your CV afterwards. So just by going to this QR code, hopefully that doesn't jump on, it'll bring you directly into the actual courses. So we're using a platform called NDG. So you can just put in your details and just click register, and it'll bring you straight into the courses. There's 3 courses, they're free of charge, and you can, as I said, earn some really cool badges that you can put on your LinkedIn profile. So I would love if you do go and earn some badges that you tag, you know, the IT Academy and tag me and tag VMware. But you can earn a cloud and virtualization concept badge, a network virtualization concept badge, or software design storage concepts. So all the links for the courses are here. We'll put them into the chat in a while again, but Aileen, I think, has put in the main IT Academy course link, and then if you just go to courses, you'll be able to find them. Harry talked earlier on about like just, you know, Spotify lists and YouTube lists. We also have a really cool VMware IT Academy YouTube channel with loads of information that you can check out and learn a bit more about what IT Academy is all about, and, you know, the different courses and how these courses can help you. I think that's one of the most exciting things about tech and working in the tech industry, is that the knowledge that you gain, you know, it's not just knowledge that you have to go to university to learn. There's so much knowledge out there that you can self-teach yourself. And I think that actually is one of the skill sets that makes a great VMware employee, is somebody who knows, you know, when they don't know something and how to find that information. So yeah, that's kind of it. I just will leave you now to ask that you sign up for our very, very last MOOC that we're doing. We have done 3 in total. So our third and final one is going to be on the 24th of November, and we'll be talking about technology as a force for good. So we all know, you know, technology is around, but like, how does VMware use technology with our customers to make sure that it's for a positive and it's making the world a better place? So we'll dive into that in a bit more. If you are interested in knowing more about VMware, in terms of the events that we hold, the jobs that we have available, you can sign up to this Beamery form. Again, Aileen, if you have that handy, can you put it into the chat, or we will send it around in a follow-up email as well. That will allow us to, you know, keep you on file and make sure that, you know, as we run more events to highlight VMware, that we're inviting you, and also if there are roles that you might be suitable for, that we can reach out to you as well. So that is it. I just want to thank everyone for coming today, and thank all our panelists and Ludmilla for doing such a great job at emceeing and hosting the session. So I will hand it back to Aileen.
All right, thanks so much, all of the ladies, for doing this. That was really, really good. Our audience on YouTube really enjoyed it. Everyone, like, you know, said like, really thank you for answering all the questions, and they had a really good time. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I have shared the links on the YouTube comments, but feel free to send them out through the Code for Schools email, which will probably go out tomorrow. And as for the rest of the audience, this is being recorded, so it's going to remain on this link for the next 2 weeks if you ever need to come back to it and have a look through. But until then, I hope everyone enjoys their evening, and hope to see you at the next one. All right, take care. Bye. I'll end the broadcast.